Hey Cocooners! Sebastian Hilbert here, founder and CEO of Kokoon Retreats. It's so cool to be able to say that because it's becoming real. I'm so happy to announce to you that from the 15th to the 17th of August, we're going to run the world's first Kokoon Retreat. Now it's going to be just me, but it's a huge milestone because it makes it real. Like, I'm actually going to do this and gonna experience it for myself so we can figure out how we can make it even better for you guys. Now, you are part of this already. You somehow signed up for this by talking to me or through our website or by filling out a survey. So I'm really happy that you're here and that you want to know more about this. And I wanna explain in this video to you what Kokoon Retreats is actually all about. I know you have a bit of an idea about it, but you're actually not really sure what exactly it is. At least most of you. So I want to take you a bit of a journey. But before we do that, let me explain to you how Kokoon Retreats actually came into life. In 2019, when COVID hit, I was running Wellnesspreneur with my beautiful partner in business and life, Teresa Armitage. And we were doing marketing for wellness businesses. And when COVID hit, most of those practitioners, because they were doing a lot of face-to-face work, their income dropped, right? So marketing wasn't really the most important thing for them in that point in time. So they just stopped working with us. And I totally understood that. But problem was, for us, we had a revenue drop of like 80%. So I was overwhelmed by what to do, not knowing how to figure this thing out. And then one day I said to Teresa, hey, let's just go out. It's a beautiful day. It's all sunny. Let's just go for a walk out in nature and just kind of decompress a little bit. So I remember we've been walking for like an hour and a half. We had a little picnic. It was beautiful. We really enjoyed ourselves. And we're talking about all kinds of things. And as we were walking up a little hill, well, I remember it being quite a steep hill, but we're walking up this hill, trees all about, and we came up to the top overlooking the Gold Coast. We could see the ocean down about a kilometer and a half away, and we could see the skyline of the Gold Coast, and we're just talking about really deeply about what was going on in our lives. And I just came up, I saw this view, we're talking about all these things, and just started crying. I crushed down. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is really not where I want to go in life. So I need to change something. I need to make a significant change. I thought, I need to do something different. I really need to find something that really lights me up, that fires me up, and gets me to a point where I really enjoy life again. So I stopped everything, right? I stopped social media. I stopped really getting myself out there with my business. I just stopped everything and said, like, okay, it's time for rejuvenate. And to figure out what I wanted to do, I actually went out in nature. I stayed away from everything. I disconnected from everything. No phone reception, no traffic noise, just trees, beautiful water coming out of a spring, mountains, and wildlife. And I started journaling. To reflect on different things, to take an inventory, right? Like an honest inventory of how things are right now and what really inspires me, where I want to go in life. And after a lot of trial and error, I came to this place of wanting to found Kokoon Retreats. Because Kokoon Retreats is something that is really dear to me. It's something that's in alignment with all my values, right? I want to be in nature, take care of nature. I want to deepen authentic human connection, make more authentic human connections. And I want to create more confidence and patience and joy in my life through self-care. And Kokoon Retreats brought all of this together. I saw how we all need to go out into nature, disconnect from everything, and take an honest inventory to go on a journey and find a way of reconnecting with ourselves so we can move forward in a more meaningful and happy way. I thought that's gotta be awesome if I could give everyone the opportunity to do that. And if it's even guided, focused on that outcome, it'll be even better, much quicker, because it took me 2 years to get here. Well, it's 2.5 years now, right? So we can fast track that with the right process. So that's what Kokoon Retreats is all about. Kokoon Retreats is about giving every human being the opportunity to make meaningful change on their life's journey. Now, let me explain how we do that with Kokoon Retreats. Are you ready to go with me on a journey? Okay. So imagine you just had a really stressed work week. You come home, things have really not worked out for you. Maybe your partner is stressed as well. Maybe you've got kids who are screaming at you, and you just think, oh my God, life is just so hard at the moment. Or you maybe think, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. I get up in the morning, I make breakfast, I go to work, I come back home, I make dinner, I hang out with my wife, watch Netflix, and I go to bed. I don't know what situation, but we've probably all been in a similar situation like that before. And you think to yourself, I need to get out of here. I need to go somewhere where I can disconnect from all this stuff and just rejuvenate and find myself again. So you go online and you find all these different great things around glamping, right? If you all heard of glamping, right? There's all these great places you can go into nature, move away from everything, and be in a beautiful nature spot with all the camping discomforts, right? We all know what camping can be like, right? Like you have a small tent, you can't really stand up in it. You have to cook on an open fire and your smoke gets in your eyes and everything smells like smoke. The toilets are crap and so on and so forth, right? So glamping is an awesome way to experience all of this beauty of nature and to get the benefits from it without all the discomfort of camping. Now, with Kokoon, you're not only just going camping or glamping, you're going cocooning. Because with every booking that you make, with every experience that you book, comes a Kokooning Program. Now, what's that about? The Kokooning Program starts with a check-in, a virtual video call check-in with our Kokoon Concierge. Now, this is a call where you meet with our Kokoon Concierge and that person will run you through all the different things that you need to pay attention to around food and making the food and the facilities and how to get there and all this stuff. And the other part is about the Kokoon Concierge tapping into where you're at in life, asking you a few questions about what challenges you face, what difficulties you have, what you aspire to, and so on. So you can set an intention to go on this Kokoon retreat and go into the cocoon, starting a process that will help you to create that meaningful change that I was talking about. So you do that about a week ahead of when you're going to start your retreat. And then you start finally driving to the cocoon. You will already have an audio recording on the way there, which preps you to drop into the experience. When you arrive there, everything will be prepared for you. You've got all the food. You have essential oils, beautiful teas. You've got an outdoor bathtub that you can set up for yourself. You've got candles. You got everything there prepped for you with instructions to set up the most amazing self-retreat that you can think of. Now, once you're there, you're settled in, you may have made yourself a cup of tea, then you start opening up the program overview and you find all these different explorations laid out in front of you that you can start doing whenever you like. We lay it out for you what's the best way, but it's completely up to you. There's no military drill, nothing you have to do. It's all about what do you need in the moment and you choose what you want to do so you can actually get what you really need. So for instance, we've got a mindful morning menu and a wind down evening menu, which you do the first thing in the morning and the last thing in the evening. And there are things like guided meditations, yoga practices, movement medicine, breath work, ancient planetary grid music. The stuff that we packed into these menus are off the chart. Like I just recently did the movement medicine by Hamilton Barnett. And he takes you on this journey of first slowly starting with little movements and then ever so slightly increasing all the movement, and you find yourself all of a sudden like doing all kinds of movements and dancing, and 15 minutes in I was crying, like literally, because I was so overwhelmed by joy and gratitude that it just came down rushing, right? And he does that simply through music, guiding you on this musical journey. The other day, I listened to Daya Dowa's Planetary Grid morning activation music. And I did it whilst driving, thinking like I really need to do this, like to experience it. I just didn't have any other time because there's just so much stuff going on at the moment with Kokoon. But the intensity was so strong of this journey she takes you on with music that I was almost about to stop. Right? I was on this beautiful windy mountain road with trees and beautiful views popping up now and then, and there was nobody on the road, so I thought like it's okay, but I was like, I had goosebumps whilst driving, like dropping into her music. If I would have been on a highway, I probably would have needed to stop. So it is phenomenal, the stuff that we have there. But that's just what you do in the morning and the evening. What the core of your cocooning experience is actually the guided program, where you tap into what inspires you, what would you like to change in your life to be a bit more happier, to feel more fulfilled. What are your values? What is your vision? All these different things that allow you to set an intention for after this day, to make a little change in your life. And that's really the biggest thing that we focus on right now in our process of creating this incredible program for you. And that's what happens afterwards. Because integration is the single most biggest challenge that all retreats face out there. We talk to people who have done hundreds of retreats, who hosted retreats. My own experience from going on retreats, integration, what you do afterwards, is the single most difficult thing that people struggle with. Because what happens when you, after you're fired up at a retreat or some event you go, what happens when you come back home? You boom, drop into your old life, right? Everything is the same. Your job is still the same. You may like it or not. Your partner may still be stressed. Your kids are still screaming at you. Your family will still want all these different things. Or your routine is still the same. Nothing has changed. So it's about helping you to make that little change. Well, I just recently listened to one of the people that I learned from, Dean Graziosi is his name, and he talks about this farmer who every day goes on his tractor, he puts the corn on, he turns on his tractor, he drives a mile, or for him is a mile, so it's a kilometer for me, and he feeds the cows. And then he drives back. And he does that every single day. Always the same thing, always the same routine. And after a while, he builds trenches, right? And that's where he goes. That's the same thing over and over again. And he thinks now that if he wants to change something in his life, he needs to turn the tractor around, go 180 degrees into a completely different direction. Now, that's the thing that most people think, and that's what gets them not to do anything, because it's not about completely changing your life, completely changing your diet, quitting your job, find a different family, right? if you think so. It's not about that. It's about making a little change. It's just turning the wheel of the tractor like a quarter of an inch, like really, really small. Because if you think about that, if you do that, after a day, like after 10 meters, 20 meters, you're not really far away from where you were before. But what about in half a kilometer? What about in a kilometer? What about in 10 kilometers? You can't even see where you were before, right? You're in a completely different space. And that's what we want to achieve with Kokoon Retreats. We want to inspire you to make a little meaningful change in your life so you can take your life on a different trajectory towards more happiness, more fulfillment, and more joy in your life. Now, how cool is that? I get so excited about talking about this because I really can't wait to finally get that out there in the world and get you to experience that as well. I can't wait to talk about when I've done the first prototype and share with you what we have done, like what it was like to do the Kokoon concierge station, what it was like to arrive, what it was like to go through the program, what it was like to pick my thing from the morning menu and from the evening menu before I go to bed, and you know, wake up in the morning in a beautiful space with no alarm going off, and what it will be like to check in with my Kokoon concierge afterwards and getting me to make a little change in my life. It's gonna be amazing. And I'm so glad that you're still watching this, and that is already a massive support. But if you like this as well, if you think you wanna also do a Kokoon retreat in the future and you wanna continue to support us, here are a few things that I would love you to do. So first of all, subscribe to the channel. I want to do more of these videos. I love it. I really want to share more with you via the video channel. So subscribe to our channel. And if you want to do something else, it would be awesome if you could share this video with 3 friends that you think would also love the idea of doing a Kokoon retreat, so they can also get a bit of an experience on what this is all about. And if you want to do a third thing, that's a typical German one, right? Like this in English. If you want to do a third thing, go on our website www.kokoon.com.au, Kokoon with 2K, not C, 2K, and sign up to our newsletter so I can keep you updated with further news. And you may have already done it, that's awesome. But for those who haven't done it yet, please sign up to the newsletter. I share all this cool stuff through that, and I would love you to be part of the Kokoon Retreats community. Thank you for watching. From the bottom of my heart, with sincere love and gratitude, I'm really looking forward to bring this to you and the rest of the world.